Hello and welcome to the Outside Line podcast. I'm Peter.
And I'm Emma.
And we're here to talk about all the serious and silly aspects of Formula One and other motorsports. So Emma, we made it through the winter break.
Yep.
How are we going to make it through the spring break?
I mean, I'll probably be fine because there's lots of other motorsport for me to watch.
Okay.
I am not just a fan of F1.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Lots of endurance happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's IndyCar.
Yep.
But mostly endurance. And that lasts ages, so it's even better.
Yeah, you get good value for money.
Exactly.
4 hours of Barcelona, or so whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good, but today we're going to do the Drive to Survive Season 8. That luckily we didn't do a bonus episode on, and so we're able to do it now when we need it. But first, let's look at the weekly noise.
Mm-hmm.
So I would mention this AUDO. Do you know what that is?
Misspelled Audi?
Yeah, if you Google it, it actually comes up and says, don't you mean Audi? And I was like, no, I don't. So it stands for Additional Development and Upgrade Opportunities.
Oh.
So basically, it seems certain engine manufacturers can say, our engine's shit, we need extra time or money or something. Or
Okay. So like Honda.
Well, strangely, yeah, I mean, they need a lot. I presume they automatically qualify for it.
Yeah.
But the ones I've heard are actually Ferrari, who
Mm-hmm.
apparently, Mercedes basically tried to block because they say that the Ferrari chassis or whatever is quite good. It's their engine that's the problem. So if they were granted this thing, it might actually make them competitive.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know, but so yeah, it seems like Ferrari have been granted it. I think Audi also got it, but Red Bull Ford apparently they may not have got it. That their engine's too good. It's just the rest of their car that's shit. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that could, we might find out in 3 months that this thing made a difference. But
great. Yeah, interesting.
Then the other thing you want to talk about was this statement from Alpine.
Alpine have had to put out yet another statement asking a certain subsect of their fans to stop sending death threats to their other driver. So Pierre's been getting death threats because he's been outperforming Franco. And let's just say it, Argentinian people think that the cars are different and that Pierre has a better car and all sorts of stuff. So Alpine have had to come out and say, no, the cars are exactly the same. It's the same machinery, blah, blah, blah. It is just a skill issue.
But they would say that, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yes, they would, because it's true. Yeah, so once again, people causing problems.
Yeah.
It just distracts from everything, though. Like, because actually Alpine have built a decent car.
Yeah.
So, they've done quite well in the regs, and this has just kind of put a bit of a damper on it because, Franco's shit.
Yeah.
Let's be real. And, yeah. So, but it's, unless they get rid of him, it's not going to change.
Yeah. There is, I think there's an Argentinian kid in Indy Next. Yes, Alexandro de Trulio, who won the last race. They had an Indy Next, so maybe if he's promoted to IndyCar, Alpine will be able to fire Colapinto safely.
Well, you have to have one Argentinian driver in any motorsport series out just to distract them. Yeah.
They need somewhere to focus their passion, let's call it.
Yes, passion. Yeah.
I sound like, is it Crafty or Brundle who's always like, oh, it's that Latin fiery temperament. It's like, yeah. Racist. Right, let's get to Drive to Survive then.
Woo.
So I guess maybe the first question to ask is, why are we doing it now? When it's been, 4 weeks, 5 weeks since that came out?
Yeah, about 5 weeks. Well, it's your fault. You haven't watched it.
It's my fault just because I don't like it that much. or like yeah. Well, I like the first season I watched of it, which was I guess 3 years ago. I was sort of big into it, but then when I kind of started watching the F1 seasons more closely,
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, this is I don't like this. I don't like what they're doing
It's
here.
nonsense, yeah.
It's pretending. Stop pretending. It's but I think it is good that we didn't do it when it came out because, well, now we've got something to do.
Mm-hmm.
But also, a lot of it, like, rewatching it this week, or no, sorry, watching it this week, there's a whole, like, new context because we know how this new season has gone. And so when they have the episode, I'm thinking particularly about James Vowes and Williams, and he's talking about, we're going to be fighting for P3 next year. It's like,
Oh,
no, mate,
aged
no.
like milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has added an extra kind of element to it. It's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, Drive to Survive. I mean, it's a huge deal for F1, right? I mean, it's really saved it in a way. Maybe you could argue.
Yeah. It's definitely, it brought a lot of new eyes to the sport, mine included. I am a person who came from Drive to Survive. No, don't turn off the podcast and never listen again, please. But it was just one of those things. I was powerfully bored one day and thought, I'll give this a go, see what it's like. And I started from the beginning because,
Okay.
of course, I did. Like, I didn't just
1960, you mean? Oh.
yeah, no,
Watching every race.
2018, which is about as old as that, and was just like, yeah, love this. And I think one of my first like tweet about it was like, why did no one tell me these drivers were attractive?
Really playing into the stereotypes there.
I don't care. They are. They are. And
Well, yeah.
there's no lying about it. Charles Leclerc has the face. Face card never declines, or whatever they say. So
Good. Yeah.
But his actual card does decline because I happened to Drive to Survive one time. Anyway, I have watched it. I've watched it like every year. Like I'll do a full rewatch, usually in the summer break, and then watch the new season when it comes out. Binge watch it all in one day, like I did with this one. So yeah, but I think it has been good for the sport. I know a lot of people disagree, but I think surely there can't be people who only watch Drive to Survive and don't watch the races. But I guess there probably is.
Yeah. I mean, it depends how closely you could just sort of dip in now and then, and you don't have to be one of the people getting up at 6 in the morning or whatever. You could just see the result on TV and then be like, oh, like I'll just wait till next Drive to Survive to see if anything was actually important going on.
Yeah, I have definitely heard of people being like, no, you can't tell me about this race. I'm waiting until Drive to Survive comes out.
Oh, okay, well that's mad, but yeah,
that feels a bit like, guys, this is a real sport. Like this is actually happening. Yeah, it has changed the way that people consume F1, and I think it's a good thing because it just brings more eyes and brings more, opportunities for people.
Yeah, no, I think it's been really good for the sport, and I think it also lets us see the drivers kind of for who they are, because I think it is. Somebody pointed out, right? It's one of the few sports where the competitors just wear helmets, so like you have no idea who they are and what they might be thinking or how they might be feeling. So it's
I mean, they interview them enough, don't they? So.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, okay. That is one of my main notes. Basically, is just it's unrelenting for them. It's a suck, I think. But, yeah. Anyway, for me, I would say first season I watched, really enjoyed it. Was like, I can't believe that they have got these interviews and these everything's so exciting, all these things happening. Then next season I was like, right, well, they've just made stuff up here, like they've cut everything together, and then after that I think I was okay, like just need to reset my expectations for Drive to Survive, that it's not a season review. It's not like that. It's basically they decide a couple of kind of story points, and you just got to let them go with it and appreciate all the kind of backstage access that you get.
Yes.
But that still wasn't enough for me to watch the previous season or this one when it came out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't, they're just inventing, just pretending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't, I wasn't not that bothered about it anymore. But I will say this season I actually did quite enjoy, because I think the F1 season was one of the best in years.
Yeah.
And that meant they didn't have to invent the storylines. They were there, you know.
The storylines were real, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was, yeah. So I kind of enjoyed it. Still, at the end, I was trying to sum up my thoughts on it, and they were nearly all negative, which is a shame. But like I didn't like, I was watching it, and of course I was watching it because we wanted to do this podcast. But I was starting to get into it, and I stopped making notes at one stage. I was like, "This is like I'm into it now. They've got me."
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe at the end we'll try to find some positives. So episode 1, basically, this was kind of focusing on the rookies and kind of using like the F175 event in London.
Yes, the launch thing.
Yeah.
As a bit of a starting point, I guess.
We got to see all the drivers sort of making their way to the thing. It was...
My note for this was George has never been on the underground ever in his life, and this is all for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be... I'll try to save it to the end, but like I do not like George. And everything he does just feels so unauthentic.
If you go into this season not liking George, you will come out hating him even more. And I think if you go in ambivalent to George, you will hate him. He is a personality vacuum.
Yeah, but it's that he's trying, like, try hard type person.
He's trying too hard.
Like he's talking to strangers on the tube where he's like, "These cameras for you? Are these for you? No, they're for me." Like, what?
Yeah, and everyone knows you don't talk to people on the tube.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's like forbidden.
Yeah, but so anyway, they were making their way there. Somebody was in a boat. Somebody was in
a helicopter.
A helicopter, yeah. So
yeah.
Then this is, skipping ahead, this is one of my observations, is that all these drivers are children, not just the rookies. They're all children. So like Hulkenberg instructs Bortoletto to fart into the mic, and he just does it.
It's just a silly, childish boys' club.
Exactly. I think it is like all sports people nowadays. They have to start at such a young age, and they're basically pulled out of school, and then kept in this perpetual sort of childish state that they never get out of. They never actually grow up. So even the older members are all just as silly and not silly. I like silly. It's childish, I think.
It's just childish, yeah.
But yeah, that crops up again and again in the episodes. Like I'm just thinking these are just children, so childish,
immature.
Yeah.
I want to mention that Will Buxton is here, despite the fact that he doesn't work in F1 anymore. He's doing his job basically. His Drive to Survive job, where he tells everyone the most obvious things. Yeah,
I think he does lean into it now, because the very first thing he says basically is like, the fastest driver takes pole, which means they start at the front. It's like they know what they're doing there, right? They're playing up. But yeah, probably it makes his job a bit easier because he's not there all the time. It maybe lets him.
You can.
Not that he says anything particularly insightful or controversial.
No, he literally just gives information.
He's just there for context.
He's a narrator.
Yeah. He's like, Ferrari have been shit for years. Like he basically, that's his job, is to basically give the context of why something might be important.
Yeah.
But no, it's okay. I didn't mind seeing him there. The one person I did find strange was Claire Williams.
I've written, why is Claire here?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it made sense back in the day when she was actually in charge of Williams, but now
Yeah.
it just feels a bit like, I used to be important, pay attention to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd
It was-
rather her than Danica, though. Let's be
Oh well.
honest.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying,
So,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did. So there's an episode where they kind of focus on Williams. I'm like, you shouldn't be allowed to commentate on this. Like you
Yeah, you
still.
fucked it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're the reason why it's in this shit position, Claire.
Possibly. I mean, I'd say
I mean,
there's a lot
it
of
was in a
reasons for the failure, but yeah,
so it was in a bad way when she took over,
yeah.
but she didn't help things,
No, no.
and she signed George. What does that say about her taste?
Well, that Mercedes gave her a bunch of money, I'd say.
Yeah, Toto was like, sign this boy now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, at first, so when they started doing the F-175, I was like, I do not want to see this again. I
Yeah,
foolishly watched it
once.
at the time, and I regret it. I was like, I don't want to
Mm.
see it again. But then, the best bit was
The best bit.
Horner getting booed. I was like,
Yes.
yes, okay, it's worth it. I don't mind
Yep.
seeing all the kind of asinine kind of like, oh, what Aston Martin going to do? Oh, it's some James Bond thing. Actually, I'm starting to sound like Lando and Oscar.
Yeah, Lando and Oscar giving their like Statler and Waldorf-esque comments.
Yeah,
Like,
they were good, actually, yeah. I
yeah,
thought that was good.
it made me appreciate Oscar a little bit. I was like, oh, he's kind of funny, isn't he? Sometimes.
Yeah, no, his dry humor works for that, and he can see.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does see through a lot of the kind of corporate bullshit and stuff.
The best bit was when they asked. I can't remember what he said, what word he said, and they were like, they've told him to say that word.
Oh yes, yeah. I think they're talking about. Oh yeah, they ask someone like Charles, like, what word comes to your mind when you think about this car? And he says something like, reliant or resilient or something.
Yeah, something like that. And they're both
Nonsense.
just like, they've paid him to make. They've told him to say that word. You can see
Yeah.
him thinking about it before he
Yeah.
says it and stuff. It's great. It's really good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
I do think Lando often provides like really funny moments in Drive to Survive, because I'm thinking about when Lance broke his arms and he immediately was just like, have you had a wank or something?
well, again,
Like-
childish, but yeah,
Yeah, but
I
funny.
guess we all wanted to
Iconic.
know.
Yeah, exactly. Funny,
Yeah.
iconic. We all wanted to know, thank you, Lando.
Yeah, but let's get back to Horner getting booed because that was hilarious. And then
It's
it was even
great.
funnier because it shows him trying to like laugh it off
Trying to
himself
explain it to some
Yeah.
guy.
to some guy
And he,
who
like,
doesn't even
leans-
look.
Oh.
It doesn't even like don't even know each other. It seems like
Yeah,
he's
it's
just
some guy he sat near, and he like leans over and he goes, "I'm a pantomime villain," and then
Yeah,
the guy doesn't hear him, so he has to awkwardly say it again.
Yeah. It's real,
Oh, it's great.
real David Brent from The Office. It's perfect.
Yeah, it
But
is.
it just shows. I guess it's his mentality. He's like, "Why are they booing me? Could it be because of my sexual harassment? No,
No.
it's because I'm a serial winner, and everyone wants to hate the winners." Which-
Yes, because I'm the pantomime villain, and everyone needs a villain to boo.
Yeah.
Like, no, there is an actual villain in F1 now, so
Who, Max? No.
no,
Flavio.
Flavio.
Anyway, that was the F-175. I didn't mind seeing that again. Actually, that was funny to see that.
Yeah,
And then there's the focus on the rookies' first race in Melbourne.
yeah,
Melbourne.
which was like Armageddon for all the rookies. So
Yeah. And we got to see some of Kimmy's family with his mom, and
yeah,
poor little Kimmy. I mean, I feel he's
just a baby. I can't look at him and not see like a baby. Like, he's genuinely a child to me. It's so crazy.
Yeah, which is awkward now because they keep saying now that he's won some races, they're like he's no longer a boy, he's a man. It's like,
He's not.
no,
He's still a baby.
he's still a baby.
He's still a
Um,
baby.
I really like Kimmy from watching this. I actually really like him.
Yeah.
like him a
Yeah.
lot more.
He is so likable, but I think it is just because he's a baby.
Maybe
You
yeah.
can't hate babies. Like, he's got that sort of little bit of naivety about him that you're just like, aw,
Yeah.
you'll learn. Life will
No.
beat you down, but not yet.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you're just it's like in a nature documentary, you have all these like little baby turtles trying to make to the ocean. It's like you just want them to succeed,
Yeah.
you know how dangerous it is, and yeah. Anyway, speaking of dangerous, Flavio.
Flavio.
Oh God, I really, I hate him so much now. I mean, I already
Mhm.
didn't like him, but oh, it's awful. Anyway, poor Duan in his race, he crashes and it cuts to Flavio and Colapinto just sort of like chuckling to themselves, or like kind of
Yeah.
evil sort of smile. Like, I mean, Flavio, I think he knows what he's going to do. Like, he knows he just
Yeah.
wants a reason. Like,
I do think that is a lot of that is just the ridiculous editing, but to make him look even more evil.
yeah,
But it would not surprise me if that was like actual real time footage as well. So
yeah, yeah,
he makes my skin crawl. He really does.
yeah, yeah,
I don't understand how anyone could stand to be near him.
yeah. Well, shall we move to episode 2 then? Because episode
Episode
2
two.
is basically, so they kind of set it
It's
up as Alpine versus Sauber or Flavio versus Wheatley.
yes, and it opens with an MTV Cribs style
Oh, yeah.
tour of Flavio's tacky as hell house.
Exactly. That's exactly my notes.
Oh,
Basically, just
yeah,
gaudy shit. Like, awful. Horrible.
yeah. I've just written I don't want to be in Flavio's house.
Yeah.
The last place on earth I would ever want to be. It's horrible.
Yes. So I understand what you said now about Wheatley and how, like,
Mm-hmm.
you just want to be nice and
It's
protect them and
so
stuff.
But
But it did occur to me is that basically he's been contrasted to Flavio. So
I know.
it's pretty easy to look good. In contrast to
Yes,
that.
it is easy to look good compared to Flavio, but I think even compared to Flavio, this is just the way that I'm wired, but I love the way that he manages people, Jonathan. I love the way that he's like all about positivity and people managing and, morale boost. I love that. That's great. That's how you do it. You don't tell people off because that doesn't work. Shaming people doesn't make them better.
Yeah.
Praising them does. So
No, I like that they do contrast the kind of styles in management. And I think Wheatley, he seems like a nice guy. He has the
mhm.
kind of engineering slash strategy chops to kind of back it up
Yes.
and do the way he thinks it should be done, which I think a lot of these kind of team principal characters, they just seem like dinosaurs, or they seem like it's from a completely different era that's just not going to work anymore, or
Yeah.
shouldn't work anymore. But it just sort of perpetuate these kind of myths of management and like tough management style. Just
Yes. And like the fact that it's a boys' club, it's toxic masculinity and stuff
yeah, oh
as
yeah,
well. Like, so Jack Doohan goes into some of the horrible death threats that he received
yes, yeah,
actually in this episode, which was genuinely sad. I cried because I am me and I cry at most things. But I just imagine how different it would have been if he'd gone to Jonathan with that problem
yeah,
rather than having to go to Flavio with that problem.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know?
didn't actually know that they were so serious that like people would
Mm,
turn up with guns and sort of like
yeah,
intimidating them and stuff. It's crazy.
that's crazy.
I mean, it's not surprising, like in that circumstances, that he didn't do his best in the first couple of races. So
Yeah.
yeah, in saying that, he did try to rap at one stage. I was like, come on, get up.
Oh, I had to mute it. I could not watch it. It genuinely upset me.
Oh,
Oh, he just tried. He tried,
he
but
tried. Yeah,
it was very cringy.
yeah,
Bless him. He does have that like sort of adorkable energy about him,
yeah. I
Jack.
can see it.
I
I can see
really
it.
like, and I've always liked that about him. I always think, oh, look at this guy. Like his dad's really cool and successful, and he's just a bit dorky. The same as Mick Schumacher.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, his dad's really cool and successful, and he's just like a little dork guy. He's like, yeah, I'm also here. Yeah, Jack and Mick have the same energy, I think.
Yes, no, that's a good comparison. Yeah, now Drive to Survive do something which I don't like, but could be true, is that basically they make it seem like one race decides everything, right? So
Yeah.
I think they're in Miami. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's Miami, and they're kind of following where do the Alpines finish and where do the Saubers finish, right? And like this one race will decide, like who's better, Flavio or Wheatley, or like should Doohan get fired or not? And like
Mm.
in the real world, it shouldn't.
In
It doesn't.
reality, it is literally like race 5 of 24.
Yeah,
So,
but like
like,
it can't like
doesn't mean
that
anything.
one race doesn't mean anything. It's only the
No.
season that should matter. But then when you have people like Flavio, they probably do think like that. They do think like, this one
Yeah.
race and you've got to prove yourself in this one race, otherwise you're out. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I did think the way Netflix did it there was not. I mean, it's par for the course with them, but like they try to simplify it so much, but like it's not like that. Like it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Doohan gets fired. And
Poor Doohan.
unbelievably for me is that he says he didn't see it coming. He didn't believe the
Yeah.
like he thought it was just the media speculating. Like,
Bless him.
come on, Flavio and Colapinto. They sign him when he's waiting there in the wings.
Well,
I mean, how did he not see it
Flavio was his manager. Possibly still is his manager. So
yeah.
if you are paying this man to keep you in a job, I don't think you would want to believe that he might fire you.
Mm.
That's the most unbelievable bit of it for me, is that Flavio was his manager the entire time.
Yeah.
And he still treated him like that. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Poor
Anyway,
Jack.
what they shoehorn in now is the Hulk
Open podium.
Um,
It's still, I've written still as good as the first time though. It still felt good.
Oh yeah. No, that was really good. But again, they put it in this context of, Sauber doing well, like beating.
Sauber have won because they got a podium. So
yeah. But it was good to see. I really liked seeing that again. Yeah, that was good. And then there was a quote here from Wheatley. Where he says, "I can see myself staying like 5, 6, 7 years at Sauber."
Oh no. That didn't age well.
No.
Oh.
Oh dear. Well, yeah.
Oh well.
And then again, I think we suspected at the time but Alpine had already decided to focus on 2026, which in retrospect was probably the right decision.
Probably the right decision, yeah.
Episode 3, it was mainly about McLaren and do they have a number one, or like what's it like having two number ones, basically?
Yes. So they get the expert on having two number one drivers, Nico Rosberg.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I was so excited when he turned up.
He looked happy to be there. He's like, finally.
I love Nico. Yes.
He's funny. He's a funny guy. Yeah, this episode starts. I don't know if it happens in all other series, but like it shows Zach doing some other sport.
Doing a sport, yes.
Because I remember him doing like
hockey,
like ice hockey,
golf,
and now golf,
tennis.
And now he's doing tennis, and he's getting coached by fucking Novak Djokovic, which
I
mean that's
mad.
A
flex and a half, isn't it?
Exactly. And I'm in no position to say anything about anybody, or like I'm not going to body shame Zach, but if he really was doing all these sports, I think he'd look at the better. Yeah, I mean, like again, I'm not. Those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, but like, come on, So I think he just does it once a year for the drive to survive, basically. Yeah. It also shows him doing this weird thing where. He gives one of his drivers a bear hug, and then he's like, well, just to show that I'm not playing favourites, he like assaults the other driver as well. Like, something like that. Then poor Oscar gets a bit of, well, I don't know, like it's praise, like they're praising him, but they're also calling him like a robot, and like
yes, because he showed like. He says, and I've written it down, the exact quote, emotions rarely help you solve problems.
yeah, exactly.
Which is, I mean, it is true.
Yeah.
But also, like, you can't stop them from happening. So, you like, the ideal way is to feel the emotion and then solve the problem. But I don't think that's how Oscar does it. So
Then, they're talking about the title fight. For some reason, they talk to George here, and George says he's in the fight. No.
bless him,
What?
the delusion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then I would say Drive to Survive, they try to make it seem like Zach is favoring Oscar. They're trying to,
Yeah,
like,
which wasn't the narrative at all last
I don't,
year.
yeah, well,
For a
that's
lot of
not how I
people,
remember it at all. Like,
no, the narrative was very much that Zach favoured Lando.
well, I think that actually, by the end of the episode, it's pretty clear that's the case. But
Yeah.
in the middle, they show him bringing Oscar to Paul Ricard somewhere, like to test drive some of Zach's cars
Yeah.
because he's collected all these, famous
All these
cars basically.
Ed Senna's cars, yeah.
And then when they show all the drivers going to the F1 movie,
I've written Lando forced to go to F1 premiere while Oscar and Zach bitch about it behind his back.
exactly. I can't believe that those things happened at the same time. Like they've cut them together.
They absolutely did not happen at the same time.
So
But it was just so funny, like, like Lando say, like, is this mandatory? And they're like, for you it is.
for you it is, yeah. And then there's a smash cut to like Zach and Oscar having a lads' lunch, like
Yeah.
yeah. But we do get
Like,
to see Christian Horner doing his trademark shit stirring because he's still around at this stage, and
yeah.
so he's trying to get into Lando's head. Then Lando, I mean, I do sort of like Lando. I like that he's kind of honest. I just think like he's honest, but about being, I don't know, I don't like him that much as a person, but I appreciate his honesty, and I appreciate like what he talks about is sort of his mental health and stuff. But there was a funny moment in this episode where he's talking about like his mental health or something, and then the next thing they showed me like a medical scanner having his head scanned. It's like we gotta find out what's wrong with this guy. Like,
yeah.
So I thought that was good. And then then he does win some. He wins Silverstone, right? Because of what happened with the safety car and Oscar. And all of McLaren are like all celebrating, and Zach's, really celebrating. So I think even if they tried to pretend, it was pretty clear that they all wanted Lando to win the championship. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they try to make it seem like having two number ones, that's like automatically going to be shit. But like, don't most teams?
Yeah.
Like
most teams have two number one drivers.
Yeah,
or at least they're very, very close, that there's not much difference in them. It's
Yeah.
only, like, sort of Red Bull have a very clear number one, but that's only because no one's on Max's level. And then, like, Mercedes always kind of forced Valtteri to be the second driver, but I don't think he was. I think he gave Lewis a run for his money, let's say.
Yeah, I think
he wasn't like Perez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was more out of, like, obligation rather than like they forced him to be the second fiddle sometimes rather than him being very shit.
Yeah, I think they sort of let the season sort of play out, and then they decided to make and it was sort of clear that Hamilton was at like just this little bit extra level, so it made sense. I mean, Ferrari, the Schumacher years, he always had Barrichello or Irvine. But maybe it is just, when you have one really good driver. And
if you have one really, really good driver, then you're obviously going to have a clear 1 and 2. But when your drivers are both on a similar level, then you can't pick favourites until near the end.
Yeah.
That's why I think Ferrari are going to struggle, because they've always really liked Charles, and now they've got Lewis, and they're like, how do we pick?
Okay, let's move on to episode 4, which is the fall of Horner.
Yes.
This episode starts with like Liam Lawson. He gets fired from demoted to Racing Bulls, but for some reason they make him change his shirt like during the interview at Drive to Survive. So
it's really really mean.
But like, why? I mean, what? I mean,
just bullying.
It wasn't like he sat down and they were like, "Oh, by the way, you've just been fired. Change your shirt and give us the interview." Like, he would have known, and like...
Yeah, I know, but that was obviously the thing was like, oh, we'll do this, where, you get to change your shirt on camera, so the perverts like Emma could watch.
That's
and be happy about it.
at this point, Horner, like, they ask him about it, that, like, was it a tough decision or something? And then he says, like, well, it was a highly popular decision in Japan because, you know, they brought Yuki in for the Japanese Grand Prix. So at this point, like, he's basically saying, like, oh, aren't I clever to bring Yuki in?
Yeah.
Then later in the episode, he denies, he says it was Marco's fault for bringing, promoting Yuki. So, yeah. Well, I'm glad they kept that in. So we saw.
Yeah.
With something like this, you don't know when these interviews are recorded. Like, that's what you had to sort of believe that they're done in between the races, and I don't know if they are or not. Like,
I don't know. I don't know if they have like specific blocks where they interview them. So I don't know if they do it like pre-season, summer break, and then end of the season.
Yeah, but they made it seem like in you know, unlike previous seasons where they jumped around, they actually kind of followed like a couple of races in a row.
Yeah,
they made it look as if they were interviewing them like in between the races, but I can easily imagine them saying like, okay, pretend now that you don't know this is happening.
Yeah, pretend you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it made me think that there is some kind of chicanery going on here. So we also saw in this episode Crofty being an actual journalist for once.
I've written crofty shit stirring.
Yeah,
because he was, and that Craig Slater guy who I also hate was also shit stirring.
Yeah. But although he seemed very pally with his like, by the way, you know, Marco's just said this, and I'm gonna ask you about that, so like come up with an answer.
Yeah.
Like, so, which I'd say they all do that. You know, they all.
I think they have to do that because how like if you act like a knobhead, they're not going to talk to you, are they?
Max kicks you out of the room.
Max kicks you out of the room. Exactly. If you act like a dick, Max will kick you out of the room. So you know, you at least got to try and be friends with him in a sleazy journalist way, which is the only way a journalist can be.
So, yeah, this is when poor Max has been like, well, we never actually know if is he really thinking about leaving? Could he go to Mercedes? Toto's certainly flirting with them.
Yeah.
Trying to, but then they do interview George here, and George is like, no, it's just a ploy. He doesn't really mean it. It's just a trick. It could be true, but yeah, it did seem like George, you know, getting some hope
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wrote down a quote from Yuki, which he says, "Tell me if I'm doing anything wrong." It's like, everything you're doing is wrong. Like
everything you've done is wrong.
Yeah.
Poor Yuki.
But well, I'm not going to go poor Yuki. I used to be poor Yuki. Now I'm like dickhead.
Fuck
Yuki's
that
a dickhead. Yeah, he is a like.
Yeah, he is a total knob.
Anyway, then Hannah does get fired.
Jerry Halliwell's very happy about it. She has a big grin on her face.
Yeah, because she knows she gets to play the good wife here, you know.
Yeah,
Stand by
but I
don't
know if you noticed, but they put her name down as Halliwell Horner.
Oh, did they? Maybe, yeah.
Yes, which it never used to be. She used to be Jerry Horner, like very specifically, and now she's Halliwell Horner. So.
Okay. Anyway, this made me fucking sick because Horner basically gets to give his own eulogy. Like they've gone to his house. It's
I set it up in his barn.
Yeah.
In his stable.
And he gets to basically go out on his terms, not...
Yeah, reads texts from Toto.
Yeah, we get to see some of that trademark banter. He's going on like, oh, get your hair cut or something, whatever. Fuck. Awful stuff. But I did like... I mean, this might age like milk, but he clearly expects to be back pretty soon. And so far, fingers like he hasn't.
Well, I think most people are not wanting him back.
No.
I think there is a concentrated effort to not let him in.
I hope so. Yeah. Well, just today, I mean, as we record this in April 2026, there were loads of stories of linking him with Audi, and then Audi have come out and said no. So
yeah,
please.
That's the thing, that every time that there's a story linking him with somewhere, the actual team comes out and goes, absolutely not. Which I think is great, because normally they don't bother doing that.
Anyway, hated this heliographical bullshit where they give a montage to Horner and... Ugh, you shouldn't get that.
No.
Anyway, he's gone. Thank goodness.
Thank God.
Let's move on to episode 5.
Yes.
Williams.
Carlos Sainz's love of porridge and full English breakfast.
Yeah, I made a note of this. Like, he's sitting in the car with the other Carlos,
Caco.
yeah, and he's like, oh, British food is total shit, and then he says like he likes beans and porridge. They're the worst. They're the worst bits.
They're the worst bits. Yeah. But the thing is, he has to say he likes porridge because his girlfriend's Scottish. So I think that's like a thing that he might have to say because she is Scottish. So
no, I mean, I also like porridge. But I don't know.
Yeah, porridge is great.
Yeah, but beans, like
beans are terrible.
But yeah, this episode with Williams is just full of just very bad statements. We're on a good path. Val says 1 year to the next can be totally topsy-turvy. It's like, yeah, they sure can. Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh, James.
So this was, I like Vowles a lot just because I think he is a sort of a nerd. Like Wheatley, he seems like a nice guy, trying to, maybe not as nice, but like, trying to do it without the kind of macho bullshit, I think. And trying to do it a bit more logically, a bit more scientifically. Should mention in this episode, they shoehorned in the Lego race in Miami, because obviously that was the most fun any of the drivers have had, so they got to cover it. Didn't really make any sense to put it in here, but yeah, great.
No, but I loved seeing it again because
it was good.
It was great. Lots of fun.
They showed Carlos, so he had to go and do some photo shoot for L'Oreal.
Yeah.
And they talk about his F1 neck, so I'm glad somebody acknowledged the F1 neck. But like at the end of it, one of his minions, or maybe that guy, says, "Oh, you've earned your pay today." Like, what? You what? Stood around and got photographed. What?
Yeah. No, to be fair, was that where Eva Longoria was?
Yes.
Yes. She was creepy and weird, I noticed.
Yeah, a bit.
So I think the pay was that he had to put up with that, basically.
Okay.
She was very strange. She was very creepy about him. Like, just in a far more enthusiastic way than she probably should have been, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, we get to see, Carlos, he struggles at first, and then, like, this is one of the obvious storylines, right? The Hulkodium, that was an obvious storyline. Sainz, struggling, then getting the podium. That's an obvious storyline. Again, we saw these performative lunches. Do you think that's real? Do you think that team principals and the drivers sit down like that and have lunch together?
No, I think that it's entirely fabricated for Drive to Survive.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Performative lunch. Yeah.
Very hard. But anyway, it leads up to the Sainz podium. Which, great. I like seeing that again. They don't mention Qatar where he got another podium, but which probably like even better because that podium he got was a bit of luck involved, whereas the Qatar one I think was like proper, good pace and skills. So anyway, it didn't fit into the storyline, so they don't mention it. But yeah, poor Vowles. We're on a good path. That's what he says. He's talking about challenging P3 next year. Oh dear.
Yeah.
So sad.
Oh.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, Claire Williams is there. Just like she Also, I don't know if she has any financial interest in Williams anymore, but it's weird to have her talking about it. Like, I
think it is so strange for her to be talking about it.
Yeah.
Because essentially she is the one that kind of ran them into the ground in the first place.
But even if that wasn't the case, it's still a weird conflict of interest, right? Like you're trying to big up the team that's got your name on it, so you're not going to be impartial, are you? Then episode 6, Kimmy Redemption.
Kimmy.
But first we have to see some George content.
Oh.
And again, I don't know, is he trying to be like Man on the Street relatable, where he's like, you see that big boat over there? Well, my boat is actually just a little bit smaller than that. It's like, what is that? Okay. I mean, you still got a boat. I mean, what are you trying to say?
Exactly. It's not humble to say that boat's bigger than mine. Like,
yeah. But
the fact that
anyway.
you own a boat is not humble. Oh, I'm gonna say it again. I fucking hate that guy.
Good.
God.
Yeah. He also says the way he pronounced Ferrari, which might be the correct Italian way, it just seemed weird that he would do it. Like he says Ferrari or something like that. Maybe just when somebody annoys you, everything they do annoys you. But I find that annoying. Well, he tries to be the sort of the proper British sort of country lord, basically, and then sometimes he throws in shit like that. Weird.
Very strange.
Also, so this episode is mainly about Kimmy, and they do try to sort of contrast it between him and Hamilton.
Yeah, I've written Lewis versus Kimmy for some reason.
For some reason. And I think the reason is that somebody came up with the perfect pun, which was kid versus goat.
That's the kind of pun that you would come up with.
Yeah. It's perfect. I was like, yeah. I don't mind.
That's
I don't mind them.
Yeah.
Anyway, poor baby Kimmy. This is so. I mean,
I know.
You can see that he's clearly overwhelmed by all the attention. He doesn't seem to really like the crowds, and he says he's struggling to sleep. He's crying after the races. It seems.
Yeah.
It's so sad. And then they say he's got. He tells Lewis that he has like 42 media days on top of like. Well, I guess. Well, I don't know if that's it on top of the race weekend commitments, but it just seems like they have to do. I mean, so much crap.
So much, yeah.
Yeah. So poor baby Kimmy. It's just.
I know.
It's so unfair as well. Like they talk about how much pressure he's under, and he's saying like they're saying. Thousands of people in the factory are depending him on for their Christmas bonuses and stuff. Like,
I know, that's like, don't put that on him. He was like 18 at the time. That's horrible.
It's really bad. And when Toto brought him in, I was like, all right, okay, he's got like 1 year. It doesn't really matter what he does. So Toto should have said, I'm a billionaire. I'll guarantee whatever bonuses people as if we came like second or so. Don't put all this stress on poor Kimmy. It's
I think
unfair.
It's literally that they can't though, because it's like otherwise it would come out of the cost cap or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it is literally like it has to come out of the prize money rather than like.
Yeah, you're probably right.
External spending because it'll come under the cost cap, so it does kind of depend on Kimmy doing well, but don't tell him that.
Yeah, that's so unfair.
You don't need to tell him that because that's just going to make him stress out more.
Yeah. And then it shows him going to his dad's karting team.
Yeah.
And even his dad is putting pressure on him, basically.
I know.
I think his dad's trying to be nice, but he's like, yeah, we got to do better. We got to turn this around. It's like,
yeah.
What? I mean, motorsport dads are something else, it seems.
They're a different breed. They really are.
Just poor Kimmy.
Yeah.
It's so sad. But... Well, as it turns out, actually, again, one of these obvious storylines, Kimmy starts well, has this dip in the middle, and then has turned it around, So it does have a happy ending, basically. And even Hamilton, they also say he's turned it around as well. It's like,
which is a lie.
I don't remember that.
He did. I don't remember that happening at all. No.
Yeah.
But you can't be like, oh, like this tiny baby has actually beaten Lewis Hamilton resoundingly.
Yeah, but not even that. They're still pretending that Lewis's season was okay, whereas.
Yeah, but it's like the season before when they pretended that George won Spa. They never actually mentioned that he got disqualified. So, it's just one of those untruths that Drive to Survive has.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, for some reason in this episode they shoehorn in Stefano Domenicali because they have him at Spa and he's like, yeah, he's done a great job organising Spa. It's like, what? That's not his job. Why are they even mentioning him? Like, what? So I wonder if it's like some sort of contractual obligation that Netflix
probably
have to they have to mention him doing a good job at one point or something. It just seemed mad. Just out of nowhere, they're suddenly talking about him, and then they never mention him.
If you want the rights to F1, you have to say nice things about Stefano.
Right, episode 7.
This is just an advert for the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Pretty much. pretty much.
That's all it is.
They try to frame it as like all like the team principal rivalries. So it's like Toto versus Zach versus Fred versus Meckies, Lorne Meckies,
Mm.
who, yeah, now he's in charge of Red Bull. He has to turn up for this, and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he's funny.
poor
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, and this is where Zach is doing all his
Yeah.
his what would you call it, like emceeing or like his speeches, his after
He's
dinner
just doing it.
speeches.
Yeah, he's just doing a speech. He's sort of hosting a dinner.
He's such a
And he
dick.
says, we have stars of sport, we have stars of football, we have stars of hockey, we have stars of tennis, and we have all three. My name is Zach, or something like that. And you're just like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah. He also is a real dick. He's like the king sits last, and like he's obviously, they've clinched the constructors title by now, so he's just in full imperial like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible, awful.
Oh.
But I don't know if Drive to Survive do this on purpose, but they show him like trotting out the horror metaphor, and then it shows him like later like doing it again. He's like,
He repeats the joke like 3-4 times.
Yeah.
I think they did that on purpose to make him look like a person who repeats jokes, because he is. So.
Well, yeah. You probably have to, I guess. But anyway, they didn't need to show it. It was funny to see.
Yes, they did.
And I really did enjoy that there's this lady, Chloe Todd, who's some sort of executive type person. She's the only one who can like is tired of Zach's bullshit, and it's like,
oh, he's brilliant.
So I did enjoy.
She's so good, yeah.
Enjoy having her
telling him off, saying, "Oh, you need to do this and you're gonna do that." Oh, for fuck's sake!
He's like, "Stop biting your nails! It's disgusting."
It's disgusting.
I don't think anyone else talks to Zach like that, so that was great. I like that.
Yeah.
And I did feel sorry for him where he's talking to, is it Albert Pujols, the baseball player? I'm like, the thought of having to talk to sports people, it's just awful, I think. Because I don't think Zach's a total idiot. Whereas most, I mean, I don't want to be too mean, but most people in sport are kind of idiots. And, oh, yeah. So I did feel a little sorry that he was having to, like, make small talk with these guys.
He got himself into this position.
Well, yeah.
He needs to suffer it.
And earlier we were talking about Zach doing his annual sport, and we got a shot of it. In this episode, we get the annual shot of Toto in the gym. And this poor kid is like, I don't know if that's the same son we saw in previous seasons. Like,
it will be. He's only got one.
All right. But I don't know what he's up to, but like they say he's living in San Francisco or something. And anyway, his son is like, yeah, I go to the gym because you're so scary, Dad, or something like that. Basically, is what he says. But yeah, he's in the gym with his kid. Like, yeah, pump it, watch me do this. It's funny. Anyway, they somehow they try to make it out as if it's like Ferrari versus Red Bull versus Mercedes versus McLaren, but it's not really.
It's really not.
But yeah. And we do get to see McLaren get disqualified. That was good.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I like the way that they do the fake, like, delivering of news. Like, they did it with Liam in his episode as well. Like, that he's, like, reading his phone.
Yeah.
And it just happens to pop up and it gets sacked. And everyone's like, oh, the little, like, tweet noises and stuff.
Yeah.
That definitely haven't been a thing for years. Like, that's great. I love that.
It was sort of interesting that it did kind of seem on the pit wall, because they were like, watch out, Netflix is here. That they knew they'd fucked up.
They knew it was, They
knew it was dodgy, but they tried to, like, style it out and hope that it wasn't, like, the Squid News didn't notice. But yeah, that was interesting. Because, like, in all the interviews, I think at the time, like, they were like, oh, we didn't know. We didn't, like, but they knew.
Yeah, exposed by Netflix.
Yeah, that was good. Anyway, it did all these McLaren fuck-ups. I mean, it does lead up to a really good finale of the season, that is, of the F1 season. but also it meant that there was an actual final episode for Drive to Survive, so that was good.
Yes.
Right, final episode. They really, even though Max doesn't really appear, like they only have him sort of doing interviews with other people, they're
Yeah.
really glazing him. Like they're really
Mhm.
building him up because I think they want to, yeah, they want it to be exciting at the end, but it means that they have to be like, Max is really, really great and, be
Mhm.
amazing to beat a world champion like him. And, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess they have to do that. Or maybe they just want him to take part next year, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I
Anyway,
think. I think they just try to butter him up to get him to come back.
yeah.
But because normally they give him the villain edit and he goes, "Well, that's not happening anymore."
Some things leading up to the final race. One, we saw Zach and Lando eating plain sushi,
Mm.
which, I mean, okay, it's going to
Oh,
be better quality than like gas station sushi, but
yeah, but
still,
not much better.
I'm not sure I would trust it.
Yeah.
So I think Lando doesn't eat it. He eats like a
No,
bowl
he
of
doesn't.
mush, basically. But
Yeah, he doesn't. I
um,
don't think he likes seafood. I think that's like a known fact.
yeah, okay.
Feels like a known fact that I know. So
And then, yeah, we saw Zach at his book thing that you tried to convince me to attend, which I'm glad I didn't know.
you were the one that mentioned it.
Yeah, but anyway, it just
He
they showed some
reuses the joke again.
exactly, yeah, yeah, awful. They did show the
Oh,
audience. Imagine I'd be in the middle of that. Like they look like
that would have been
losers.
so funny.
To be
They did.
honest.
They all looked like people who'd been paid to be there. So
Maybe.
yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's get to the race day of the final race, and we see that Lando has to give some fucking corporate lunch speech, like on the day of the biggest
On the
race of
day.
his life.
Yeah.
Awful. Like,
What?
surely in any other sport you'd just be left alone to like,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't need to do all this crap. But F1 is just so corporate that
Oh, I hate it so much. That's the.
it's
Oh.
I mean, I knew it was bad, Also, even after races, you see that the two drivers, like especially those races where Piastri's had a bad race and Lando's
Mhm.
overtaken him or Max has overtaken, like he has to like hang around for ages afterwards and do like come out on stage and wave at the crowd and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it mentally because
I mean, I've seen the drivers come out on stage and wave at the crowd and do bullshit,
yeah,
and it's nice to see because you're there to see them, obviously,
yeah,
as a fan. But then also in the back of my mind, I'm like, you don't need this.
yeah,
like the one I went to was like the Friday one, so it was less important because it was just practice. But the the guys who had to do it on a Saturday, I'm like, you've got qualifying in like an hour, you know, 2 hours. Like, what? You don't want to do this. You don't want to be
yeah,
stood around doing this.
yeah. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, really tough for them. Yeah,
Mhm.
feel bad for them. But this episode I thought was really good because the race was good and they
Mhm.
actually covered the whole race. So
Yes.
this is one of my gripes, which we might come to later, which is that they often take like one battle that happens during a race and like use that as like a stand-in for the entire race or something like this. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Lewis gets stuck behind somebody or like,
Yeah. I mean,
as
with some races, that is like Monaco. You might only get one battle the
yeah.
entire race, so it is kind of cutting out the rubbish bits. But yeah, they did well with this one.
Yeah, well, this one I thought was very good, and then they could interview the drivers when they appear. Like, so when Charles suddenly gaining on Lando, it's like, okay, cut to interview Charles, or like when, well, I don't think they talk to Yuki, do they? But like, anyway, you get to hear from the drivers when they're relevant to the race, and they kind of follow the whole race through, and Lando pits, and then he's behind these people, and like it was a far better episode than you usually get, I think, in terms of what I would like from Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really good. But again, it just shows what Drive to Survive could be and what it's not. But anyway, I like this. Yeah, and it was nice to see Lando win. I mean, it is sort of emotional the journey he's been on, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Well, my note was just thinking about how ambivalent I am towards Lando WDC.
Yeah,
I was
well,
thinking, yeah, just fine with it.
yeah, I think it's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, he deserved to pick on one, like it's sort of Jensen
Yeah.
Button, like kind of,
Hmm.
it's probably not gonna
Yeah.
be like multiple. You never know. But, yeah.
Yeah, you don't know. But
Um,
yeah, he is very much like Jensen,
yeah.
just in
But it
general.
does, the
So
emotion does get you, when they show his mom and
yeah.
dad, like that's the stuff that
Oh
gets.
yeah, I was crying again.
And
Yeah.
I thought they wouldn't put it in. I was wondering, would they put in Zach's awful, like, is this the world champion
Is
hotline
this
or
the world
whatever
champion hotline?
ugh. But they did put it in, which again might
Yeah.
be might be malicious. I'm not sure, but yeah,
Probably.
yeah, it was awful hearing that again. Anyway, right, this episode ends with a preview of 2026, which again very portentous. Aston talking how hype, like they were trying to hype Aston up.
Oh.
That was sad. They were hyping Caddy up. Oh dear, yeah. And then Williams. They were talking that they were going to step up,
Yeah.
which is mad. Why is James Vowles saying stuff like we're going to be fighting for P3? Like it's the biggest rule change in
Yeah.
history, basically. Like it's so unpredictable. Don't say stuff like that. Say
Yeah.
we want to cement, our top of the best of the rest. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, can't do that either.
asking for trouble. Well, yeah, as it turned
Mhm.
out, but yeah, just you're asking.
Oh
like,
yeah,
to look
you
to
can't
look like
just
an idiot. I
say
mean,
things like that. Yeah,
yeah.
because that's the first thing they're going to ask you in the next series is, oh, you said this last year. What's happened?
Okay, good. Let's move to sort of other thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Then do negatives and then do positives, maybe.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, as previewed. Yeah, I hate George even more now.
Oh, he's so
I
bad.
hate his banter. I don't know, is he trying to be edgy where
I don't know.
so he's talking about like his cream smells like semen, and then he's talking about
Yeah.
the sex toys in the hotel and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
is he trying to like do like banter with the big boys or something? Like, don't know
I
what.
think so. Yeah.
Ugh.
And
I hated
it
it.
just comes off as cringy, creepy, weird.
Yeah.
Like, he is just. The problem is he's not likable at all. And, like you say, it's a bit try-hardy. And it's a bit like, oh, look at me. Look how clever I am. And it's because he's dead posh. And it just comes off as insincere.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the bit where he's talking about sex toys and he goes, of course I know how to pleasure a woman. And I'm like, I don't think you do, though.
Oh, that was.
Or, maybe you think you do, but it's probably been fake. Because otherwise you might cry.
Yeah, so that was one of the worst lines in the whole series. I obviously know how to pleasure a woman.
Obviously.
No,
yeah.
how to please a woman is what you say. Yeah,
Please,
okay.
yeah, please. Please a woman. Yeah, because you have lots of money, that's how you please a woman.
God, yeah. Ugh, George. Then Flavio, I hate him even more now. I hate that he's back. I hate what he represents. I think he's just a dinosaur. I think he's completely
Yeah.
idiot opinion. Like, I'm convinced a lot of these people they got it right once and then they've just skated off that, and like they're convinced that their way of doing it is right. And like his sort of like, I only need a few races to decide whether a driver is good or bad. Like, this is like bullshit.
Bollocks.
Proven bullshit.
Absolute bollocks, yeah.
Full of like, real macho type, like, absolutely. I hate that he's there. I hate that he's still part of F1.
I cannot wait for him to die. Him and Bernie Eccleston. What a great time that'll be.
I thought you were going to say, I can't wait till he's out of F1 again. Like,
No.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, fair enough.
No, because even if he's out of F1, he'll find a way to come back in, like he did before. So, yeah.
Is anyone else you want to hate on before we move on to other stuff?
I don't know. The last note I've got is, and I don't know what it means, but I'm going to tell you it anyway. It says Andrea Stella is like Mr. Bean.
Yes, well,
And it's,
this
yeah.
this actually does bring me to exactly what I want to talk about next is the pit wall theatrics.
Yes.
So I do enjoy seeing James Vowers with his head in his hand, or Fred being
Yeah.
like, "Oh God, no!" But yeah,
Mhm.
there's a bit where I don't know if it's when they forget to pit or they don't bother pitting Oscar and Lando, but like there's a
Yeah.
bit where yeah, Zach says something like, "Should we have pitted?" or something, and yeah,
Mhm.
Andreas just goes like, "What?" Like pulls a face, like how would I know
Pulls a
that?
face, yeah.
Like it's like, I really do wonder what do they do? Why are they
Yeah.
there? Why are they on the
I
pit
don't know.
wall for like? That's two seats on the pit wall that Zach and Andreas are taking up, but they don't seem to do
I,
anything.
yeah,
What?
this is
What?
my problem I have with McLaren is that why is Zach the like face and mouthpiece of it
Yeah, but it's
and
I'm not even
seemingly
talking
makes
about
decisions?
just McLaren. Like all of those
Oh
like
yeah.
team principals, they give awful pep talks. Like I don't know how anyone would be inspired by some of the talks we saw. And what do they do?
Yeah, but the
Why are they
difference is that
there?
yeah, but Andrea Stella is the actual team principal, and
Yeah,
then
but
Zach Brown is the CEO. Those
yeah,
are two
yeah,
different things.
yeah. McLaren, that's even crazier than like at
The
least
fact that they
someone
have
like
two people
yeah,
doing it.
exactly. Toto at
At least
least
Toto's both, and
he sits in the garage with his little
hmm
minions around him, but he's there to sort of monitor it. Like if you're on the pit wall, you should be making decisions. I kind of
yes,
assumed that they were like I like there'll be some 50-50 call in the strategy. We need someone to make a decision that's, buck stops with them. They make the
yeah,
decision. But they don't seem to know what's going on at all. Like ridiculous.
yeah,
But like primarily they're there, right? Their job is mainly there to like give interviews, look for sponsors, give awful after dinner speeches at the sponsors, and
yeah.
then to kind of build a team, organize a team, and sort of kind of keep an eye on them to make sure they're kind of getting stuff done. Like they don't, I don't know,
They don't need to be on the pit wall.
they don't need to be at the race weekends. Full
No,
stop. I would say, yeah,
I think they
uh,
do because they need to be interviewed
yeah. Oh,
to
but then
give. But then like
have the strategists
why would
interviewed.
they not
They're the
have?
ones.
Well, not even that. Have a head of communications to
Yeah,
communicate.
yeah. Then I some other notes. One, sometimes they would show all the social media stuff like
Yeah,
popping up on screen. We need to get in on that.
I know. I was thinking that
You
we
need
don't
to
use
be like,
X though. I know.
oh yeah. I thought before. Imagine like they just chose one of your like blue sky
Yeah,
things at random, and like suddenly you were
I'm
there
on
in the
just. I don't think they're real. I'm just gonna say that I don't think they're real. So, or at
mm,
least they're like the content of the tweet is real, but the person isn't, kind of thing. Like they're made
yeah,
up.
yes, that could be
Probably
it.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. One thing I
yeah.
noticed that is that they basically showed nearly every race, apart from Zandvoort.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Well, let's talk about some of the negatives.
Mhm.
Um, so quite a few things I would say they missed. Like I'm not sure. Did we see anything from VCarb or Haas or Aston? I
um,
I'm not sure we saw anything from them.
no.
So
The
they were
only
just
sort of thing that VCarb got was like, oh, Liam's been demoted to them
yeah, but like
and Yuki's
nothing.
been promoted from them, and that's it. They didn't
Yeah,
really touch them.
yeah. They basically never revisited the rookies after the first
Yeah,
episode. And like Behrman, he hit a P4 once. Like he was like
yeah.
he had a great season.
Hadjordium. Hadjordium wasn't even there
Yeah, they
because
missed the
they
Hajorian.
deliberately didn't do
They
Zandvoort.
also
But that was a feel good story that they could have used.
exactly the same with Lawson. Like he was on a sort of redemption arc as well, but they
Hmm.
didn't show it.
Yeah.
They didn't show Max in Barcelona, which
Yeah,
okay.
which we thought might have been a
Um,
big thing, but I guess because they couldn't get Max's opinion on it, they probably
maybe,
didn't
yeah,
want
but
to do that because they would only have George, and George is a twat,
get
as
Villeneuve's
previously
opinion, or
discussed.
was it Nico's? Whichever one went
Nico
nuts.
Rosberg, yeah, yeah.
Then they didn't discuss the papaya rules properly.
No,
Like,
papaya rules was mentioned briefly,
yeah, but they kind of
but
glossed it over as like, that's every team has that. Like, this is not
every team has
special.
papaya rules.
Um, but like the way McLaren did it, I think was a bit weird. They also
Mm.
didn't show it up. I don't think they showed basically the fall of Piastri. Like they showed him sort of
Yeah,
good at the start, and then suddenly Lando's leading. They didn't.
yeah, they
They
didn't
didn't
show
show
what actually
any of
happened
that.
to him.
And they didn't show that controversial like no undercut like decision either.
Mm-hmm.
That was mad. They didn't show that.
Yeah.
They didn't cover the death threats Antonelli got for
No.
letting
Letting.
Lando pass.
Yeah. In
Um,
quotation marks.
and yeah, they also didn't. They give we touched on it earlier, but they gave a totally skewed view of Ferrari's season, that how
Yeah.
bad it was and how sad their
Yeah.
drivers were. Like you wouldn't get that at all from watching Drive to Survive.
No, they did make it seem like Lewis had a decent season.
Yeah,
For, I don't know why. I guess to keep him on side as well. I don't know. But
yeah, I think that's it
uh,
exactly.
yeah, I mean, just tell the truth. You know what I mean? I don't care if it would make for a better story if you're like, yeah, actually, the child did like a lot better than Lewis. So
Yeah, but because the car
yeah,
was really bad and he was having to lift the
yeah,
coast from lap 2 basically in
yeah, but
every race. So,
Drive to Survive don't need to tell people that because no one cares about that. But the story would be like, actually, yeah, Lewis was resoundingly beaten by this small child.
one of the things I really dislike, all the chats are so artificial.
Yeah,
Like like Novak, like they always have to have this sort of awkward thing where there's a friend of somebody, or there's some other person there who has to say something like, "Oh, how do you think you'll do this weekend?" Or, "Oh, what's it like having two?"
it's always Jerry.
They get her to do it for
She does
Horner,
it all the time.
but every conversation you're like, this is so artificial. Like
Yeah,
this is not. People don't talk like this, and they wouldn't ask those questions. Or it's like, I mean, I've seen it in the previous seasons where they'll have like Lando's golf buddies or something, and they'll have
mm-hmm.
them be like, I think it was this season where they showed it.
Oh
Where
yeah,
yeah,
he was playing golf when Max Future was like, so what about this? And he's just
yeah,
like, how much did they pay you, Max, to do this?
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
once you, I don't know, once you notice it, you just can't
yeah.
stop noticing it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I don't like this.
Yeah,
Awful.
it's all fake.
And then yeah, and like you said earlier, like they'll cut things together to make it seem like they'll have like some people talking, and then they'll have a shot from like Liam Lawson like looking from the other side of the garage or something, as if
Yeah,
he's like, "What's going on over there? Are they
what's
talking
going
about
on?
me?"
Yeah,
Like, but like
yeah.
it's just a random shot of him in the garage. Like it's they do that all the time.
Yeah, but they do it with everything. There's another bit where they say a thing and then they cut to F2 footage of like cars going around a corner or something, and it's like, what did this fit your narrative better than the actual F1 cars? And you think people would notice? Yeah, it's some of the things like that are particularly egregious, but they do make me laugh.
And then, like as I said at the start, right, like you can't think of it as a season review, but it just annoys me so much that they don't show you what happened in the season. Basically,
No.
you have no idea. Like if you just watch Drive to Survive, you have essentially no idea of how the season unfolded.
Hmm.
Like you see how it ended, and you see like one bit in it, and as I said, even the races are usually represented by just one battle, as if like nothing else happened. And but let's try to talk about some positives. um,
um.
so again, like it is, they do have really good access to behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and I like that the drivers you get to see their personalities a bit, so
Hmm.
you get to know them more than you would otherwise, and they're more or less nice people, very childish. A
Yeah.
lot of talk of like shitting yourself in this season. I noticed,
Hmm.
bricking it and like brown water at some point. Like they're talking like so, but they are do like the drivers. You get to see them. Yeah, you wouldn't get that otherwise, I suppose.
Yeah.
And you do see a little bit into their world, like what we talked about the corporate bullshit they have to do and the media stuff they have to do.
Hmm.
Like it's like you get an insight into that, which I like. That's it. For the positive.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Do you have anything?
No, I think that's the best bit about it is the
But
fact that you do get to see the actual people behind
but you
the
watch it. You
helmets.
watch it every year.
I know I watch. I watch it every year,
So there
and
must be
every year
something.
I
What
come out
brings?
of it and think, oh, it's more of a hate watch now than anything. Like it's just it's become a tradition, and I've got to do it. But it's it's not. It's just entertainment, isn't it? It's reality TV. You don't watch it for highbrow discussion on Formula One, not like this podcast, but you watch it for the stupid shit, and you watch it for, Horner stirring shit up, and you watch it for going, oh, for fuck's sake, George, and
Yeah, yeah,
and
well,
seeing
yes.
what kind of bullshit stories they come up with, or what they can lie about this year, or what mistakes they make, and like, can you hear the fake commentator? Like those kind of things, because
Yeah,
it's never gonna be an accurate representation of what actually happened.
yeah, but
But
well, maybe this is where like my point is like why like it could be so much better, but then I guess
yeah,
it
but they
wouldn't
don't
appeal
need it
to
to
enough
be.
people.
Yeah, they don't need it to be because it's reality TV for people who are
Yeah,
vaguely interested in F1.
I guess so. I just thought that people would have the same kind of path that you or I kind of follow. That
Mm.
once you've seen a season properly, then drives just like it's like it's a virus that what kills the host. Like it's
Yeah.
once you understand something about F1, you don't want to watch it anymore. So it's like
Yeah.
they won't have. They're not keeping the audience, or
But I
they
think
shouldn't be keeping the audience.
they shouldn't be keeping the audience, but I also think that like Drive to Survive, it's a Netflix production. It's only once a year. It's not a thing to be like retaining an audience because the actual product is F1, and Stefano Domenicali is rubbing his hands gleefully as more and more people tune in to F1 from Drive to Survive, and it's they don't really care if they go back to Drive to Survive every year, because as long as more new people tune into it every year, that means they're going to get more people watching F1 and going to races and spending lots and lots of money buying merch, etc., etc.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, you might get people go back and watch it with a more critical eye, like I do. But you do, you do get some funny moments, and you do get some cringy moments, and you do, as
Yes.
a vehicle for proving that George Russell is the worst person. I think it does very, very well, and has done since he started in it. So
Once you adjust your expectations, it's okay. You just need to
yeah,
to not want too much from it, and then you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it.
yeah. Again, like this podcast.
Okay, well, so usual features. Was it a waste of time watching Drive to Survive season 8?
Well, I don't know because I watched it like ages ago, so it wasn't a waste of time for me this week because I didn't watch it. Was it a waste of time for you?
No, as I said, I liked this season a lot more than previous ones.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
Do we have I don't know, a driver of the season? Like, is there any driver that kind of impressed the most from it, or came out the best? Or...
Oh, well, can we not say driver? Can we just say like person? Because I
Oh
want to
yeah.
say Jonathan Wheatley.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I didn't know anything about him going in, and then I saw him, and now I love him.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
And well, I think we've covered attack mode pretty
Yeah, it's just
comprehensively
George.
this year. For this episode. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right. Next week.
Mm.
Right. I think there's
ELMS.
There's Elms at Barcelona.
Elms.
So we got LMP2, LMP3, and LMGT3 cars racing there, and we did check in on Elms last year, so yeah,
We did.
We'll go in again. Then also GT cars are taking part in the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup in Paul
Yes.
Ricard, and we're finally going to get the answer of who's the better driver, Lance Stroll or Amaury Cordial, because they will be racing each other.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I can't wait to see my best friend Anne-Marie again.
So that's where he's ended up. And yeah, Stroll is following. Well, he's the only one who has enough power at his team to be allowed race in GT cars, it seems.
Fair enough.
But fingers crossed, this is the start of his exit.
Yes, when he moves to WEC.
Yeah.
Strexit. That's good.
So yeah, we'll watch whatever it is. For us and Paul Ricard. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Otherwise, if you have any questions or comments, our email address is theoutsidelinepod@gmail.com.
We are also on Blue Sky at the Outside Line Pod.
Otherwise, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.